Good morning. I found the couch at Salvation Army that only cost me $13.99. It wasn't just the couch itself, but when I looked at the couch and I stood in front of that couch, I say, this couch reminds me of my granny's living room. And I'm going to show you how I use the Tada framework to turn that memory into a story. Hi, everybody. My name is Nita Wiseman, and today I'm going to be showing you the Tada framework. It's how I use ChatGPT to help me create content from everyday stories. In the first half of the video, I'm going to go all the way through with the Tada framework. And the second part of the video, I'm going to demonstrate in action how it works. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Nita Wiseman. Most people call me Miss Mo. I am the owner of Mo & Company Hair Factory and Mo Beauty Supply, located right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been an entrepreneur for over 26 years. I love what I do, and I love connecting with people. Ever since I've been in the AI space, I've been talking about it. So now I get to talk about it even more by showing you exactly how I use one particular framework to help me with my content. So let's move on. Let me tell you about that couch. In this picture right here, I walked past this couch in the Salvation Army and I said, I love it. It didn't look like it was nothing wrong with it. It looked well kept. I sat on it, and in my mind, I was at my granny's house. I smelled the food. I heard the laughter, and I just felt like I was at home. And I said, I got to take this couch home to me. It spoke to me. It said, psst, psst. Buy me. So guess what I did? I brought it, I took it home, and once I got it home, I Google lensed it to see how valuable it was, because upon inspection, I realized this was like a sturdy couch. So after I Google lensed it, I realized this couch was very valuable in this time, and it just sparked something in me with as far as thrifting and finding value from secondhand store. So that's the beautiful couch that now sits in my prayer room. Let's talk about the TADA framework. First, what do TADA stand for? Train, act, dig, additional, and assembly. So in the training, this is where you teach AI who you are. And it's also a time where you teach AI who you need it to be for you. The second part is ask. Ask is asking the right questions to get better results. You could ask AI or ChatGPT a generic question and get a generic answer. Or you could ask a better question and get a better answer. So today I'm going to show you that asking the right questions do matter. Now, because I'm using this framework to create content, I want my story to sound good, polished, and sound like me. So the fact that I'm training it in my voice and my style is going to sound like me. The fact that I'm going to ask the right question, I'm going to show you a generic and then a more specific one, and it's going to start shaping up my blog. Then I'm going to dig. Dig means to ask, to give it more content, to make the story expand. So you could go deeper in the content, deeper into your thought, deeper into details of the story, or you could go deeper by making sure it's more funnier, or you could say, I want it to sound more conversational, or you could say, I want it to sound more professional. Whatever the content is and whatever tone that you want it to take, this is where you go deeper to make it sound more like you. Next would be additional. Additional is the stage where you want to add content bring that outside content into your content, and you want it to support the idea of the project. So say we're creating a story and we want some statistics. So we ask ChatGPT for more statistics surrounding the subject and add it to the project. In my case, it's going to be a blog. The last part of the TADA framework would be assemble. Assembling is when you take everything that you've done and put it into one document, one blog, basically the finished project. That's where everything that you've done goes and now it's the symbol. Now it's the symbol. Now that's the Tada framework. Train, ask, dig, additional, and assemble. Now we're going to move forward with the actual presentation of the Tada framework. Before we move into the live demonstration, let's look at how each step of the Tada framework transform an ordinary prompt into a stronger result. Let's start with train. First, ask your AI. Based off what you know about me, what's my communication style? Notice how general the response is. Now, after you train your AI and your AI know your role, your goals, your tone, your communication style, ask the same question. Notice how more detailed and personalized the response become. Let's move on to ask. Next, start with a basic prompt and notice the response you receive. Then improve your prompt by adding your audience, format, tone, objective. Compare the two responses. A better prompt produces a better result. Now let's dig. Most people just stop after they get the first response. Instead, ask AI to improve it. Make it more conversational, more professional, funnier, or even more structured. Keep refining it until the content is match what it is you're looking for. Now let's add additional information. Compare the original paragraph with the updated version after adding supporting details, example, and content. Notice those additions makes the content clearer, more credible, and more valuable. Now that you see the difference between the prompts when you ask better questions, now watch me use the Tada framework and take an ordinary story and change it into a polished blog. There you will watch me assemble, which is the last step. The first thing, this is ChatGPT. The first thing that I will want you to do when you on your screen, you're going to go to your name. Here is where you're going to personalize your ChatGPT to sound like you. Now, because I already utilized this chat, I have some default characteristics. And right here is a bio about me. Now, as it relates to the bio, this is where you tell chat who you are, give it some background, give it your tone, and give it your goals so that it can know where we going, who you are, how it should sound. I also recommend that you take time to let chat get to know you. You can simply ask chat to ask you a few questions and it'll start creating a profile for you before you ask it to tell it who you are. Now we're at the point where I need to tell chat who he is. Okay, you are an experienced content writer and story coach. Your role is to help me transform my personal experience into an engaging and conversational content. And as you can see, you could give the chat the details that you needed to have so that the story that you create sounds like you. So let's go back. The first thing we did was tell chat who we were. Then in the train, we now told chat who he was. So response, that sounds like a great fit for a storyteller. I help shape your experience into a blog post. So now we're on the ask part of the Tada framework. So first, I'm going to give it a generic task. Hey, chat, can you create me a blog post about why thrifting is trending? Let's see what it says. Okay, here's a blog post that's warm, conversational style that explores why thrifting has become popular. So we could read why thrifting is trending and why more people are loving the hunt. Pause to read. You can see it has created a blog post for what I asked, why is it trending? Now I want to ask it a more specific question to sound even more like me. And this is transitioning into dig. I'm still asking it a question, but I'm shaping my question up so that this blog post could be what I really want it to be. Okay, chat, I would like to share with you a story where when one day I walked into a Salvation Army and I found this beautiful couch for $13.99. When I saw that couch, it spoke to me and it said, "Psst, take me home." I sat on it And in my mind, I was in my granny house. You couldn't tell me nothing. I started hearing the music, smelling the food, and it just brought back so many memories. And I said, I got to take this couch home. So that's exactly what I did. And it's in my room today, and it's in my prayer room. And the vibe that I got from it that day is the same vibe that I live with. Once I got home, I Googled it and I saw the value that I actually found. It was like a hidden gem. And it made me so excited and it fused something up in me because ever since then, I've been wanting to go thrifting even more and more because obviously there's value in thrifting. So let's proofread it, make sure it said what I said. Oh yeah, and let me add a little bit of more personality. So there go my story. Also, chat. I want the story to kind of sound a little bit, use a little bit more humor and less conversational. Now, as you can see, the title already changed. Whereas this title was more of a generic title, and now this one is more specific to the the reason for the blog post. Uh, People ask me why I'm always at the thrift store. My answer: because you never know when the $13.99 couch is going to change your life. Exactly. You see the little humor? One is shaping the actual blog post to sound like I wrote it. So it's going to go on and highlight my story. And that became the story, that became the blog. Whereas up here, this didn't have nothing to do with my story. But was it a blog post about thrifting? It was. It did what I asked it to do when I simply said, hey, chat, create me a blog post about why thrifting is trendy. But when I gave it more of a specific question after it heard my story and I dug a little further, now this is my post. So now at this point, I want to add more content to my story to support it and not just make it about my moment. I also want to share the value of thrifting with other people. Hey, chat, I like how the story is taking place. Now, I would like to add other information as far as why others find thrifting trendy. Can you also give it more stats that could and sources that shows the trending is more popular, especially with social media influences and the current cost of living and the fact that people are trying to save money. Can you add some supporting details to my story and just make it fit in? Now we are on the A part, the second A into that. We trained, we asked, we dug with my personal story. Now we are, and we changed it up because I wanted to be a little bit more humorous and less conversational. And now we're asking for additional information. Absolutely. I actually think this makes your blog stronger. The first half is kind of the same. And then towards the bottom, now we're getting into some facts here. Um, okay. And apparently I'm not the only one where I'm at. Apparently I'm not the only one who caught the thrifting bug. Chat, do listen. And as you can see, this is the Tada framework in action. It actually listens and it created a better blog. Now I want to also add additional information because now we're moving into a symbol. We got to make this look like a blog post. Okay, chat, can you add the writer name being Sunita Miss Mo Wiseman, time dated July 6, 2026 at 10:45 a.m. And also, can you add the sources at the bottom of the blog? It sourced it for me. Perfect. Okay, it got a recommendation. Okay, I also have one recommendation as storyteller, as your storyteller coach. Now is advising me. Don't call yourself the writer. Brand yourself as the author. For example, wow, you know what? You're right. Let me see. Did it do it for me? Let me see. I take that. Okay, I'll take that advice. Now, you know, chat do not have the final say so. So I'm going to fix that. Entrepreneur. I do not think this story needs to know anything about me as far as salon owner, but I do like that part. Publish at the right date and time, and boom, there you have it. Now I want to assemble, and now I am going to put it together. I copied, I paste. Ha! Look at the blog. We went from a story to a blog. Hold on. I still laugh every time I say that. When I got home, curiosity got the best of me, blah, blah, blah. Did I leave out the part how I designed it? But right here, to continue with my assembly, what I want to do is insert a picture. Let's make this a little bit more Mo. I'm just going to incorporate the picture that I have on my slide. So now here is the finished blog post that I created using the Tada framework. And it even came with references. Everything, as you can see, I had one personal story. I added the framework, and then I had a polished article using the Tada framework. The lessons that I learned: AI amplifies good ideas. The better the prompt, the better the results. Always verify and proofread. The Tada framework keep you in line and focus on your goal as your as an AI partner and not a replacement. Thank you for watching this presentation all the way through. It's your girl, Miss Mo. Until the next video. Bye for now.